Okay, this is a video for the TRN BT20s Pro. This is a wireless solution. There's a lot of wireless solutions out there. It's like the big thing that's going on. It's just going to get bigger. I bought my Sony phone because it has a headphone out jack because I'm such a dinosaur that I still want that. But I do use wireless solutions. I use the Powerbeats Pro almost exclusively because of its design. I think the sound quality is actually quite good, and it's very secure. I have hit a heavy bag for hours. I've had this in my ear with headgear on and almost got struck in the head with it in my ear. Thankfully, I realized, or maybe I think he saw it actually and pointed it out. This is like put it in and forget about it. I've become so used to it being a part of my active training life, and there is nothing that I will do where this will come loose. So it's got decent sound quality. It's actually got good sound quality, in my opinion. It Get back in there. It pairs very easily, and I've never had a moment where I thought, "Oh damn, this this is very cool," and I like it. It's all in one package. It's not the hard shell, which I really don't like. It's like that fake leather. It's very cool. It comes with the cable. Very cool. It's nice. It has the charging port in the front. This is not the pair that I was using. The pair that I was using very foolishly was the Thea Audio L5, and I did some bag training, and the left side, which would be, I guess, this side, actually came out of my ear. I was using silicone tips, which was dumb because I know using those I use foam. It's just an extra bit of security. This fell out on my left side when I was doing heavy strikes on a bag, and luckily I didn't really damage this, and I didn't damage my Thea Audio L5s, which was really a like facepalm moment. What am I doing? This video is a good example of this wireless stuff. Is everybody's different. I saw a video done by Zpolt that I'll link to because he gets into more detail and he has more experience with the wireless gear. Also Audio Discourse, which Android is a part of, and I like that dude, and there's a couple other people that I get along fine with, and I respect them as reviewers, so I'll link to that as well. They put out a lot of content, so you'll see a lot of stuff. They might point out stuff that I miss. Zpolt pointed out dropouts, I believe, and I didn't watch his whole video, but if he's talking about when you have distance and maybe a wall between you that it will lose its signal maybe or start to stutter, I actually did encounter that same problem, and it happened quite easily with a single wall separating. So the signal strength from my Xperia X1 2, which is really strong, or strong enough for that set, seemed to be, this would be the weaker link because that's doing fine with the Sony One X2. This was dropping out. But when I train, I have my phone on a bench that is very close to the bag that I'm striking, so it's not really an issue, but it is something that I checked when it was said, and it turned out to be true. Hissing, not a very uncommon event to happen with wireless gear. It is noticeable with the L5s, and it is also with this set, which is a unknown set by the company that made the Thor. It's 4BA. So my 2 cents, I won't get into it. If you can't pair this to your phone, then you have problems. It's extremely easy. The sound quality is good. The functionality is more designed towards people that have low impact to medium impact exercise. Maybe jogging, running, I don't even know. I didn't really run in this. Again, I did heavy bag striking, and one of them came out, put the foam tips in, and tried it again with this set, not the L5s, and the L5s did not get damaged, thank God. And it seemed okay, but I was consciously aware of tipping my head while I'm striking the bag at the same time, like a left uppercut. My left ear is facing down, and I'm jarring my body very strongly. I was paying attention while I was doing that, and that kind of takes the whole point away because I'm supposed to be focusing on my training and not what's inside my ear. And you think, why you keep talking about training? Because this gear like this is supposed to be assisting us in living our lives, whatever life you live. And if you have a certain type of life, some things might fit and others may not. For this reviewer, it seems like the Powerbeats Pro is still the way to go for listening to music, not having to worry or think about at all the item coming out of your ear, which is something that you will think about if it comes out. That never did. This did one time. Sound quality is what it's all about. I think that a lot of the wireless stuff, including this, is Not the same as wired, but it's acceptable. I thought that this was good. So there's not a lot to talk about. It doesn't sound overly bassy, but it does sound like it's got a pseudo extended amplified low frequency is kind of like a ghetto noise cancellation. It blocks out the other sounds a little bit better. This is not rolled off in the bass. I can say that for sure. It sounded decent. The stuff that had bass sounded like it had bass, and the treble wasn't ripping my head off. So these buds are what are going to determine the sound quality. These really shouldn't, but if there's any kind of DSP or emphasis or anything going on whatsoever to the driver, I'm not really picking it up that much. It just sounded like the L5s, which are not very bassy, sounded, well, they're kind of warm. So I don't know that I can attribute any kind of ninja DSPs or anything really going on, though it did sound like it was canceling out noise a little bit, which made me able to hear the bass a little better than in wired mode with the L5. So that was actually a nice pairing. I just wouldn't use it because be careful if you use expensive stuff with something like this. This is the left side. It's going to be okay in this position, and if you do like this and this for any reason slips off, the heaviest part of the item is going to be pulling out, and it's going to maybe come out. And if you have something really expensive and it falls out and you chip it, you're going to cry, and then your ability to move on from it and sell it has been greatly diminished because you've got a little ding on it that you never would have had if you hadn't put it on something like this. So be careful. This can be a wonderful tool. It can also make you cry. So stay away from the tears. Again, I'll link to 2 other reviews that are probably much more efficient as far as time and information. Stick with something like this if you have a very active lifestyle, and if you're a little more, not pedestrian, I'm not looking down on you people, a little more normal, then probably this would be sufficient. Just make sure you use mid to lower price range earphones to test it out and to go through the motions, and if you never have issues, then I suppose you could move up to something more expensive. By that time, the B220s Pro X will probably have come out. So you just use a little bit of caution and not too much space between you and the source, your phone, your DAP, or whatever, and you should be good to go. And that's it. That is the BTR20s Pro. Do I recommend it? I recommend it for people whose lifestyle fits into what I just described. Not a lot of swinging of the head, not a lot of jar of the body, like landing, jumping, twisting. Mind Flayer, I think, and a couple other people in my Discord are mountain hiking, and I mountain hike or I'm really bad at it, and I kind of stumble and my whole body will jolt to try to not flip off the track or the path and save myself, for Christ's sakes. This wouldn't be a set that maybe would be ideal for that. So there's below that, below vigorous mountain hiking, everything below that, these should be fine. And that's 8 minutes of your life that I just came very close to wasting. So I'm out. Shows live on stage for hoes yelling my name. To be precise, ripping mics is the light of